And welcome back to you. I'm meteorologist Maria Quaban. This weather is sponsored by the law offices of Larry H. Parker. A live look outside, beautiful. Our camera up on our rooftop looking out towards Century City, mostly clear skies. This is all because of the Santa Ana winds, this offshore flow producing the sunshine and the warmer temperatures. So the heat is on. We're expecting 80s today. That could tie or even break some record temperatures this afternoon. So we'll wait and see if that happens. And if you've been looking for rain, my goodness, no rain in sight. Not until maybe February 9th or 10th is when we expect some change in the pattern. But for now, high pressure is locked in across the west, keeping that storm track well to our north over the Pacific Northwest. So great beach days on tap. Speaking of the beach, if you're headed there, 72 to 77 this afternoon. Those surf heights are going up. We do have a west swell, 3 to 6 feet. Ventura County, LA beaches, Orange County, San Diego, 2 to 4 to 3 to 5 down to our south in San Diego. Looking at our 7-day forecast, very little change really. 77 along our coast. We're going to bump the temperatures down just a little bit on Monday, but they'll be right back up by midweek next week. Downtown LA, 84 today to 85 tomorrow. We're going to hold on to these 70s and 80s, well above average high temperatures that feel more like July than January. 84 in the valleys today. Up into the mountains, we're talking about upper 50s. They're making snow, though, in the early morning hours, the nighttime hours, so you can still get your snow fun up in our local resorts. That's a good thing. High desert, 67 degrees, and in Palm Springs, lots of sunshine today with that high temperature expected to be in the low 80s. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Maria, thank you. So vroom, vroom, classic and custom cars, hot rods, trucks and motorcycles. If it's on wheels, you'll find it in Pomona this weekend.
The annual O'Reilly Auto Parts Grand National Roadster Show kicks off today. Coco McAvoy live there with more. Hi there.
Hey there, that's right. Okay, I have to start by showing you this car. Look at the paint job. I just love it. I love this bright orange and all the different accent colors as well. You can see this car if you come to the O'Reilly Auto Parts Grand National Roadster Show. I'm here with Dan now, who is the marketing lead for the show. Tell us more about this show and what people are going to experience.
Thanks, Coco. Yeah, it's our 76th year. It's the largest and longest running indoor car show in America. And we have thousands of cars on display here, including ones like this from Squeaks Customs. He's generally considered one of the best painters in the country. This A100 was actually an artist named Jimmy Smith designed this for a magazine as an illustration, as an example of what is the craziest sort of concept he could come up with.
Wow. And
they decided to make it real. So they actually took that illustration and they built it. It's got 1,000 horsepower, probably $100,000 plus paint job. Pretty. Wow. It's like a real life Hot Wheels car.
It is. And like you were telling me, you're probably not going to see this on the road. They've got headphones hanging down because it's loud too, right?
Yeah, and then that's kind of what's so cool about this show is you're going to see, we have a cruise in where you're going to see hundreds and hundreds of cars that were driven here from all over Southern California and even as far away as Texas and the East Coast. But then you come inside and you see cars like this that are just the most extreme kind of art cars that you could imagine. So it's really a full mix.
It is, because tell us more about this one. This is such a beauty. It really stands out.
So this is a 33 Ford sedan, and it's built to look like a gasser. So in the 60s, they would build these sort of dragsters where the engine was pushed back, huge amounts of horsepower, but they were also designed to kind of get attention. And so this was kind of back before drag racing was really televised very much. It was really putting on a show for the people in the audience, and they'd make them really crazy looking. And this has a metal flake paint job. There's probably somewhere around 30 layers of paint to make this thing look like this, and the way it kind of pops and has that metal flake like that.
Well, I love it. Thank you so much, Dan, for talking to us and taking us more into these cars. That is so impressive. I just love the paint jobs. And you're going to see so many custom cars, hot rods, anything, you name it, right here at the Grand National Roadster Show. It starts today at the Pomona Fairplex, 10 to 6 today, Saturday and Sunday. $40 for tickets. I'll send it back to you.
I'm getting like nail color inspiration.
People are so passionate and dedicated on these cars.
Yeah, the paint jobs are great.
Coco, thank
you. So we have seen how far thieves will go to steal rare Pokemon cards, but this next situation in Oklahoma is taking things to the next level.
Stop! Get on the ground! Hold it. Get on the ground. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
What is this? The Edmond Police Department released this video showing the end of a foot chase around 3 in the morning. See all that snow? Yeah, the temperature was 12 degrees. The man was caught shirtless and the officer had to jump over 6 fences to get him. Police say the suspect took more than $4,500 in Pokemon cards from a nearby business. He was also caught driving a stolen car that crashed into a mailbox before the chase. I guess I'm confused by the music that was playing in the very beginning, right?
I wonder if they're going to get slammed for something like this.
Yeah, because I'm like, am I watching a parody video or am I watching a real?
You're just, like,
seemed like they were making light of it. But
parents who sing, clap, or bounce around with their babies might be doing more than just having fun. They could be helping them build language skills. New research suggests babies who are better at picking up rhythm and music may also have an early edge when it comes to learning language. Scientists in the Developmental Science Journal found that infants who track musical beats easily are also better in recognizing patterns in speech, which is a key building block for learning words. The study also found it's not about being a musical parent. What matters most is actively singing, clapping, and making music together.
Let me tell you something. When I was pregnant with Ethan, I would listen to 80s music all the time. Guess what his favorite song is now?
What is?
Toto's Africa.
Did you play that song to him?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Right?
Good tune.
Just has good taste.
Good tune.
Yeah.
I think, you know, music is a language in of itself,
It
right?
is.
And like kids that are musically gifted tend to be really good students too, if you think about it, because they have that brain.
There have been studies done on the music that Bluey, for example, plays, classical music, and how that actually helps kids' development and learning.
Interesting.
Okay, now to a story about AI's influence on education. A private school opening campuses from New York to California uses AI bots to teach kids their academic subjects in just 2 hours a day. There are no teachers and no homework. There are human guides who walk around the class and support kids if they need it, but that's it. The school chain, known as Alpha School, claims its ultra-modern method can teach students twice as fast as conventional schools. The California campuses are in San Francisco, Santa Barbara, and Lake Forest in Orange County. And get this, the tuition is $65,000 a year. Yeah.
I just don't, I need the engagement. I feel like I need someone to say something to me rather
Let's
than a robot.
please not take teachers out of the equation. They are critically important.
I went to
critically
this,
important.
like, I was telling you, I went to this, I call it a symposium, but it was like, you know, a talk about the economic state of the country and the world and stuff like that. But it was so fascinating. But to me, it was just listening to someone talk about it. I don't think if it was a robot or a computer, I would be as interested.
No, you need that engagement.
Yeah.
And the human connection also, a big part of what teachers do is emotional too. For kids. All right, so enough of our soapbox. Let's check in with Sandra and Araxia. Good morning.
Hi there, good morning. All right, saving money, money management. It's one of the top goals for the new year for 2026. I spoke to a financial expert to get some simple tips on how to save big.
Plus, ahead of the LA 28 Olympics, local leaders are considering a new plan to clear homeless encampments around venues, and we have those details straight ahead.
happy Friday. Welcome to it, 9 a.m. right here. I'm Roxy Carpadian.
And I'm Sandra Endo. Thanks for joining us. Let's take a look at today's headlines.
Renowned journalist and former CNN anchor Don Lemon has been taken into custody. What led up to his arrest?
Plus, a nationwide call to stay home today in wake of President Trump's immigration crackdown. What we know about the demonstrations being called ICE out of everywhere. But first, let's check in with Maria.
Well, nothing icy about the forecast, just the opposite. You're going to want some drinks with ice in it. It's going to warm up later this afternoon. We've got temperatures that are going to be well above average. You can tell looking at our satellite radar pictures right now, not a cloud in the sky. We've got mostly clear skies, sunshine already, and we're warming up a little bit more quickly this morning than the last couple of mornings. It's already 70 degrees in Santa Monica, near that for downtown LA, 65 in Ontario. Corona's already at 72. Palm Springs already at 73 degrees. And eventually it'll get up to around 82 there in the low desert areas in Palm Springs, to 67 in the high desert. The mountains also getting to the upper 50s this afternoon. We still have some of those winds, gusty at times, especially below the canyons and passes. And we do have a wind advisory in effect. I'll show you where in just a bit. Downtown LA today, 84 degrees, similar conditions for the valleys and the Inland Empire. These 80s flirting with record high temperatures later this afternoon. We'll wait and see if we actually break or tie some of those records. The rest of my forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Maria, thank you. Breaking news right now. The Justice Department has opened a federal civil rights probe into the death of Alex Preddy. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche says that the DOJ is looking at everything that would shed light on the deadly shooting. Alex Preddy was killed earlier this month during an encounter with Border Patrol agents. He was an ICU registered nurse, and his death has sparked nationwide protests along with Renee Good. The two agents involved in the shooting have been placed on administrative leave.
We're also tracking this big story. Former CNN anchor Don Lemon has been arrested in connection with an ICE protest in Minnesota. Lemon was with dozens of anti-ICE protesters on January 18th when they disrupted a church service where one of the pastors is an ICE official. Lemon says he was present at the demonstration as a journalist, not as a protester, but there is video of him bringing coffee and donuts to the protesters outside the church. At least 3 other people have been arrested for their actions at the church as well. Federal agents took Lemon into custody last night in Los Angeles. He's due in federal court this morning.
Another independent journalist has also been arrested for the protest at that church. Georgia Ford was taken into federal custody this morning. She calls the case against her a violation of her constitutional rights. Ford is the vice president of the Minnesota chapter of the National Association of Black Journalists. LA Mayor Karen Bass reacting to all of this, issuing a statement regarding the arrests of Don Lemon and Georgia Ford. Quote this: the arrest of journalists for going into a church in the course of reporting is shocking enough, but what's even more alarming is that it's no secret that Don Lemon is a Trump critic. Let me be very clear. President Trump is not de-escalating anything after the fatal shootings of U.S. citizens by federal agents. In fact, the arrest of Don Lemon and Georgia Ford demonstrates quite the opposite. He is escalating, end quote. Back here locally, developing news this morning, a girls' ice hockey team from Santa Clarita involved in a deadly car crash in Colorado.
Gigi Gracia joining us now live from the team's practice rink in Valencia. Gigi.
And we are just getting word from Colorado that the Santa Clarita Lady Flyers, the hockey team, went ahead and played in the tournament that began in Littleton, Colorado today, this morning. And we're hearing now that they've actually won their first game. Obviously, they are playing in honor of their teammates, victims of that accident, and of course, of the man who passed away, believed to be one of their teammates' dads. Now, let's start with what happened in Colorado first.
I just had a plow slide across all lanes of traffic.
The crash happened yesterday morning just before 9 a.m. when, according to the Colorado State Patrol, the driver of a Department of Transportation snowplow lost control. The large truck crossing the median, breaking through a barrier and heading straight into oncoming traffic, hitting one car after another until it finally crashed head-on into the van that was carrying several families and young hockey players. Again, they were headed to the tournament that started today in Littleton, Colorado. Now, these are some of the team members, obviously not all of them. The van was sent flying over an embankment, landing on its side with 10 people inside. The driver, again believed to be the father of one of the players, was killed, while a young girl, now listed in critical condition, had to be airlifted to a trauma center. 7 others, including 4 children and 3 adults, were taken to the hospital, while back here in Santa Clarita, news of the accident spread quickly.
Honestly, my stomach just kind of dropped, not knowing who was in that van, who it affected, and we are a very close-knit community, so everybody kind of knows everybody.
It's very heartbreaking, the hockey and skating community here.
My heart just goes out to this family.
At last check, the 4 girls have been treated and released. One of them does remain in critical condition, though, along with 3 adults who remained hospitalized. Now, one family member here in Antelope Valley posted online that his sister-in-law was one of the victims and that she had to have surgery yesterday afternoon. Now, on the Instagram page of the Santa Clarita Flyers, they posted this. Our amazing 12 AA girls have chosen to show their strength and support for each other by playing in this weekend's tournament. They will be short-benched, but every single stride they take out on the ice, every goal they make, and every puck they save will have a special meaning. And again, that tournament started today in Littleton, Colorado. We are just hearing that the Santa Clarita Lady Flyers won their first game. We hope to get more information on that coming up on Good Day LA. As for the identity of the man who lost his life in Colorado, that has not yet been released by the medical examiner there. Reporting live, I'm Gigi Graciette. Back to you.
Oh, that's just so tragic, Gigi. Thank you. We definitely are thinking about those families. All right, today you might notice a lot of businesses are closed.
Yeah, it's because protests are happening all across the country, including, of course, here in Southern California. Mario live in Echo Park with more on what's being called ice out of everywhere. Mario.
That's right, Roxy, Sandra. Throughout the morning here in Echo Park, we've been showing you businesses from local restaurants and coffee shops to clothing stores that have decided to shut their doors because of this National Day of Action. And here, a local gym, the Stronghold Climbing Gym, they've shut their doors here. No work, no school, and no shopping. That's what this protest, nationwide protest, is calling for. And I want to step inside here because I've got Peter Stedman. He and his wife own 2 locations, one here in Echo Park, the other in Lincoln Heights. Both are closed this morning. Thanks for coming and talking to us, Peter. Why'd you decide to close your doors?
Well, we share the anger that the whole country, that you're seeing all over the country. We certainly share the anger that, of our community in Los Angeles. Los Angeles has been overrun by federal thuggery. This neighborhood of Echo Park has been particularly hit, and so it's personal to us. It became particularly personal last Saturday when we got a text from our cleaning company saying that the guy who's been doing our cleaning for like 12 years. So, we've known him for a long time, been through lots of things, the pandemic, known him and his family. He's not our employee, but he's, close. Anyway, wonderful guy. He got snatched off the street in South LA and is now gone. And so it became particularly more personal. But as I say, it's personal. It's our city. It's and we're angry. And of course we're angry because we're being overrun by thugs.
And we've seen quite a few businesses here with signs out front saying we're not going to be open today in support of this movement. What are your customers saying?
Well, no, we've gotten so we put it out on our socials and we set it on a newsletter, and we've gotten a flood of positive response. Last night we had a sign-making event, and people brought in lots of supplies. There were so many people making signs for the demonstration happening at 1 o'clock. So we're going to see a lot of our people down there. I would be down there with the sign I made last night. And it's all very, very positive. We're getting a little bit of squeaking, and then I look up to see whether they're actually customers, and they're not. So no, from our customers, it's all been positive.
And I want to ask you quickly, because the reality is some businesses don't have the luxury of closing even for a single day. How much would you typically make here with these 2 locations?
Well, I'm not going to answer that question in particular, but I will say that it's particularly hard on us in January, especially the end of January, because it's, January is really real for fitness industry like we are, and especially the last few days. So we're taking a big cut. This should be a big day for signups for us, and we're losing that, and that hurts. I will also say that we're paying our employees for today because this is a sacrifice that we decided to make. We don't feel like we can say, we decided that you guys are going to make the sacrifice, and so of course, all the hours that were scheduled for today are going to get paid. So it hurts, but it's worth it because it turns. I hope it ends up being worth it, but it seems like it's really turning into a real thing, a real part of the movement, and so we're pleased to be a part of it.
Appreciate it. That's a good point. Thank you, Peter. So this is, again, one of several businesses in the area here in Echo Park closing their doors today. We'll send it back to you, Sandra.
About making a statement. All right, Mario, thank you. Now, the Senate is trying to come up with a funding solution today for the government to avoid another partial shutdown. Senate Democrats and Republicans are trying to work out a compromise spending bill that would fund most government agencies until the fall. But Homeland Security would only get 2 more weeks of funding to buy time to reform immigration enforcement following 2 deadly shootings in Minneapolis involving ICE agents. President Trump has had an optimistic tone, but a deal in the Senate doesn't necessarily mean the House will agree.
Hopefully we won't have a shutdown. And we're working on that right now. I think we're getting close. The Democrats, I don't believe, want to see it either.
Any agreement that comes together in the Senate will have to evaluate in its totality, including as it relates to if there is to be a continuing resolution. It cannot be endless.
Democrats want stricter rules on immigration enforcement, including body cameras, identification requirements, and limits on roving patrols. Meanwhile, some Republicans say this is a political distraction at the public's expense.
New this morning, President Trump announces his nomination for the next Federal Reserve Chair. He has selected Kevin Warsh to replace current Fed Chair Jerome Powell once his term ends in May. Powell was selected by Trump to lead the Fed during his first term in the office, but Trump has since called for his outing over disagreements when it comes to interest rate cuts. Warsh is a former Federal Reserve governor and currently working as a lecturer at the Stanford Graduate School of Business. He has typically supported higher interest rates to control inflation, which interestingly goes against President Trump's push to lower borrowing costs. All right, coming up, 9/11 here. Amanda has your entertainment headlines after the break, including new details on the NAACP Image Awards.
But first, a check of traffic.
And I wish I could say it was Friday light, but we do have some traffic to talk about. This traffic is brought to you by DTLA Law Group Accident and Injury Attorneys. Taking a wide look, you can see a lot of incidents here on the board. Want to zero in on this one. Let's go over to the Costa Mesa Freeway. This is the southbound 55. The right-hand shoulder is blocked right now because of a crash. This is right before the 22 freeway, and you can see quite a backup here as a result of that. Again, southbound 55. Here's one of our live traffic cameras. This is the 710 at Del Amo. Both sides of that 710 looking good, north and southbound side. So that's a good picture there. Now here's a look at some of the other traffic hotspots.
This broadcast is locally sponsored by DTLA Law Group, Auto Accident and Injury Attorneys. Have an injury? Text Injury Help to 40222 or visit us online at calldowntown.com. Message and data rates and usage may apply.
And welcome back to you. I'm meteorologist Maria Quaban. This weather is sponsored by Pechanga Resort Casinos. We've got some very warm temperatures on tap for us. I know it's not feeling like January at all when we have this big ridge of high pressure over the west that's going to dominate our weather. It's just been locked in across the southwest, keeping us protected from all these storms that continue to ride up and over into the Pacific Northwest. So this high today will produce that offshore flow and give us those 80s. In fact, we could be tying, we've been breaking some record high temperatures. By Tuesday, high pressure will weaken slightly, so very subtle changes as we head into Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then by midweek, high pressure will build back late Tuesday into Wednesday, and that will help to warm us back up, in fact, to even warmer temperatures. In the meantime, we've got that dense fog advisory still in effect until about lunchtime for parts of the 5 freeway and through the Grapevine, and that wind advisory for this area here, parts of the Santa Clarita Valley, the San Fernando Valley through Thousand Oaks. Those wind gusts coming out of the northeast, nearing 35 to 45 miles an hour. And as I mentioned, we could actually tie or break some records today with downtown LA's record high of 85. We could be very close to that or may even tie it or exceed it. Long Beach, similar conditions. Burbank, 83 today expected. Woodland Hills, 84 to that 82 in Ontario. Other highs across the state, 65 in Fresno if you're headed north, 80 in San Luis Obispo, so that's 76 in San Diego. Back to you.
Thank you, Maria. Okay, ladies, it's Grammy weekend. That's why straight up now tell me. Everyone, Araxia has a show for you. Right?
If I could move, I would do a dance, but I can't even move. This is very stiff material.
But it's sparkly.
Yeah, but it's sparkly. Yeah. I thought you wore that just for me.
Just for you. I did think about you, actually.
Thank you. Entertainment is sponsored by Yamava Resort and Casino. Okay, so after the Grammys, we're going to shine a light on the 57th NAACP Image Awards, and they're going to honor A$AP Rocky with the Vanguard Award for Fashion. That's Punk Rocky, his latest hit. A$AP Rocky is up for 3 awards at the 57th NAACP Image Awards, but he's already walking away with a win for his fashion. I mean, come on. The man can dress well. He's always a stunner. He stops traffic on the red carpet. And, you know, Vice Chair at the NAACP National Board of Directors, Karen Boykin-Towns, agreeing with his fans, saying A$AP Rocky embodies the power and evolution of black artistry. As a creative force who consistently pushes culture forward, he has redefined the intersection of music and fashion, shaping global trends and inspiring new generations. You can watch the award show on Sunday, February 28th. That is one thing I do like about the Grammys, you know, from covering all the award shows. People, I feel, take elevated risks at the Grammys. I don't want to say risks because the MTV Music Awards, the Video Music Awards, like they definitely take risks there. But the Grammys is elevated risks. And so
I can't wait to see the risks you take.
I would just like to see some options first.
Yeah.
I'm kind of sweating a little bit.
Show your nails.
Oh, yeah. I don't have my outfit yet, full disclosure, but I do have my Grammy nails. Chrome. Thank you. One guy is putting the man in manifestation in a truly that's why I was showing you my hands-on way. Or maybe it's magic. Where's his wand? Look at that. Nick Frost recently told The Guardian that he landed HBO's Harry Potter series after watching all 8 movies and writing Hagrid down 7,000 times.
Wow. Wait, what? Like literally?
Yep. As drastic as that sounds, ladies, the universe listened because Hagrid is the beloved groundskeeper in the Harry Potter stories. Now Nick's playing that role that he wrote 7,000 times. HBO's Harry Potter is set to debut sometime in 2027. All right, and last hour we asked you, what's the biggest reason you take a trip for your vacation? Here are the results. 44% say, you know what? Just to leave town. Go to foxla.com/vote.
Destination too, right? 44.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Now it's tied up. Destination too.
Photo ops?
Before, just to leave town was wildly.
Oh, really?
Ahead. Yeah.
I find it interesting. Photo ops was on that.
Really?
Like you're going to actually go somewhere just to take a photo.
Eiffel Tower.
But you're going there to experience
for other things too.
You're going there for that Eiffel Tower photo, baby.
Then just go to Vegas, to the Paris Hotel.
Or Photoshop.
Somebody really should do a game called Vegas or the Real Thing. Yeah. So I came across a post on social media that dives into the idea behind what's being called the midlife squeeze. Yeah, so hedge fund manager Ray Dalio coined the term, which is tied to happiness levels dipping more dramatically in your 40s. Even though your income may be higher than it ever was before in your 20s and 30s, he says that your 40s may break you. It's the age range where you expect to use all this money you've earned on lavish experiences, but instead, life gets complicated. You start a family, you need to take care of your parents, you want to buy a home, it becomes the idea of work more, rest less, and that's where the term midlife squeeze comes from.
Or just life.
Yeah. So what can you do about this? Well, Ray says that you need to create systems that work without you. Instead of piling on responsibilities, simplify what you can control, delegate what you don't want to do, and sometimes no 10 times more often than you say yes.
That's true. You got to try to cut out the crap. Right?
Yeah, I know.
Because there's so much you have to deal with. It's the sandwich generation, too.
Yeah.
Taking care of your kids and your elderly parents. So
I also, you know, in the weekend, we get 2 days a week off, right?
Not enough.
It's really hard for me when there's events on both days. You got to have one day where you can just...
It's not just that. Let me break it down for you. I need 1 day to rest fully, okay?
I'm sorry, when you said break it down, I thought you were going to drop
I need
it
1 day for, like, cleaning, errands, all the stuff you do. And then can I just have the 3rd day for fun?
Yeah.
Like, is that too much to ask?
It's not too much to add. This is why we've been trying to get that 4-day work week in the works, right? Maria, I think, is spearheading that for the... Maria says that we would be happier as a whole society if everyone worked 4 days.
Not just me.
I agree.
There are countries that are trying to adopt this. There's actually studies that show that. So I'm just, you know...
You're echoing what they're doing. Yeah, that's right.
We'll see if that ever happens. All right, we'll be right back.
we face an inflection point in California. We need someone who will fight for our values and someone who will fix our problems.
San Jose Mayor Matt Mahan just launched his campaign to become California's next governor. Mahan is a moderate Democrat who's been successful tackling homelessness and crime since being elected in 2022.
And Fox 11 is co-hosting a gubernatorial debate next week. We are teaming up with our base area sister station, KTVU, and the Black Action Alliance to host the race for California governor.
It's scheduled for Tuesday, February 3rd in San Francisco, so watch it live here on Fox 11 from 5:30 to 8 or stream it on the Fox local app. Our Marla Tejas will serve as one of the 3 moderators.
And we do want to hear from you, so what you do is you scan that QR code right there on the screen. If you want to submit any questions for the candidates, for more information online at foxla.com, go there and get that, and we hope to hear from you. We'll be right back. Good morning, 9:30 already on this Friday. Welcome to it. I'm Roxy Carapadian.
And I'm Sandra Endo. Let's take a look at today's headlines. LAPD Chief Jim McDonald joins Good Day LA to discuss the city's new crime statistics, plus his response to the ongoing tensions with ICE.
Plus, one of the biggest car shows in the world is rolling back into Southern California. Coco's showing us what to expect in Pomona at the Grand National Roadster Show.
And this is hard to watch. Lindsey Vonn loses control and crashes while racing on the Swiss Alps. All this happening just 1 week before the Winter Olympics begin. how she's responding this morning. But first, a check on weather.
And our weather looking bright and summer-like as we get into the afternoon. My goodness, temperatures are going to warm up significantly again today. 68 degrees already in downtown LA, but a lot of sunshine. The winds are partly to, well, credit with the offshore flow and the warmer temperatures. 5 days in a row we have had so far of well above average high temperatures. We've only got today and tomorrow left in the month of January, and we're going to end with some red boxes here as we expect temperatures to be well above normal again. It's a good thing we had all that rain earlier this month, because every single day since the 4th of January, we just have not had any measurable rain, so it's been dry. Thankfully, the rain totals have given us quite a surplus. So right now, we're about 7 inches or more above seasonal average. So far, so good. 84 is what we're expecting for downtown LA. Our sunset time at 5:22 later this afternoon. Look at the highs. This is more like July with the 84 we're expecting in Burbank, 83 in Pasadena and Ontario, 85 in Corona, Long Beach, 83 degrees, 78 in Huntington Beach to that 82 in San Bernardino. I'll show you the 70 forecast coming up as we look ahead to the extended outlook in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Maria, thank you. A wave of anti-ICE demonstrations are planned across Southern California today. It's all part of a nationwide action known as ICE Out of Everywhere.
You may notice several businesses closed as a show of support. Mario live for us in Echo Park to explain. Good morning.
Sandra, Roxy, at the top of the hour, you may remember we talked to a local gym owner here who decided to shut his doors in solidarity with this movement. And look, right next door here on Sunset Boulevard, Honey High also closed. They would normally be open right now with some of their first customers, but it is still dark. And we've seen similar activity along storefronts at over at least half a dozen businesses in the area. Take a look, from restaurants and clothing stores to hair salons and coffee shops. Dozens of businesses, not only here, but in multiple cities, have voluntarily closed for the day in solidarity with the movement. The push comes as outrage mounts over a series of fatal shootings involving federal agents. Organizers urging people to abstain from work, school, and shopping today in an effort to apply economic pressure for policy change. They argue that businesses being closed, boycotts, and work stoppages will send a clear message that everyday Americans are no longer willing to tolerate what they call aggressive tactics by federal forces. Take a listen.
As working people, we are the ones that make this economy run, and we also have the power to shut it down.
Over 100,000 organizations have already endorsed us in this nationwide shutdown, and we are asking you guys to please join us. We are very appreciative to those who took the time out of their day to join this movement. Both local and national businesses are closing up shop, and this is just the beginning.
Today's action follows similar strikes and protests in Minnesota last week, where thousands marched and hundreds of businesses shut their doors to express their opposition to federal immigration enforcement operations. Now, local protests also happening across the area today as part of the ICE Out of Everywhere movement. Take a look. We want to show you some demonstrations scheduled at Pasadena City College from noon to 1 p.m., at Burbank City Hall from 12:30 to 1:30, and at LA City Hall beginning at 1 p.m. Now, back out here live, the gym owner that we heard from a little earlier this morning says that while he decided to close his business today, 2 locations, one here and one in Lincoln Heights, he will be paying his workers a full shift. For now, live here in Echo Park, I'm Mario Ramirez. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Mario, thank you. From local immigration enforcement concerns to brand new LAPD crime numbers just out, we caught up with Chief Jim McDonald earlier to get some of the community's questions answered. With the potential for protests this weekend and today's day of action, combined with the border czar's recent threat to expand ICE activity to other cities, Chief McDonald says the department is standing firm on its policy to not cooperate with ICE. We asked him about why the department won't be enforcing California's new anti-masking law for federal officers, and how he's prepared the department to respond if ICE agents participate in criminal activity here in LA.
Potentially you have a crowd that could be agitated and trying to get their point across, and then you have the ICE agents who are doing their job, and for us to come in then and try and create an enforcement action for wearing a mask, it's not a safe way to do business. Anybody who's involved in criminal activity, we take enforcement action. But as far as ICE here doing the job that they're tasked with doing, that's not criminal activity. They're doing what their role is, and we go out there and we, as best we can, try and de-escalate a situation and be able to make sure that everybody in that environment is safe.
We also touched on LAPD's latest crime report showing crime down with homicides at their lowest since 1966. He says police working with community partners is to thank for that and plans to build on that going forward.
Luigi Mangione, the man accused of killing the United Healthcare CEO, in court today for a pretrial hearing in his federal penalty case.
The judge today ruling that federal prosecutors cannot seek the death penalty if Mangione is convicted.
That's because the judge found technical flaws in the federal murder charge. However, in a win for prosecutors, the judge ruled they can use evidence, including a handgun and notebook that were collected from a backpack during his arrest, although no search warrant was provided at the time.
And this comes after a bizarre twist this week. A court filing says a man named Mark Anderson was arrested at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn on Wednesday. Investigators say the 36-year-old claimed he was an FBI agent with court orders to release Mangione. When asked for his credentials, he showed them a Minnesota's driver's license, threw documents at them, and claimed to have weapons. Officers searched his bag and found a barbecue fork and a pizza cutter. He was arrested and charged with impersonating an FBI agent.
Developing overseas, Israel preparing to reopen the Gaza border with Egypt on Sunday. This comes as the Red Cross has handed over the remains of the last 15 Palestinians held in Israel. Sunday's reopening will allow limited movement for the first time since 2024. The crossing is vital for Palestinians seeking medical care or returning home. Initially, only 50 people will be permitted to cross each way daily. Both Israel and Egypt will screen travelers with European Union agents supervising. These steps follows a U.S. brokered ceasefire plan.
Now to the latest in the Russia-Ukraine war. President Trump says Russian President Vladimir Putin agreed to stop strikes on Ukraine for 1 week as the region experiences frigid temperatures. In Kiev, temperatures are below freezing, and Russian strikes on the city's power plants have knocked out power for thousands of Ukrainians. On Monday, more than 1,300 apartment buildings were without heat. The pause in fighting is a rare moment for relief for Ukrainian President Zelensky. U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff says there's been more progress in the last 3 months than in the last 4 years, and says more talks are scheduled for next week.
New this morning, after announcing thousands of layoffs and multiple grocery store closures, Amazon investing $50 billion worth of money into artificial intelligence. According to the Wall Street Journal, the online retailer is in talks to invest up to $50 billion in OpenAI. The CEOs of the two companies have been engaging in direct discussions, and Amazon has also given billions of dollars in recent years to one of OpenAI's biggest competitors. On Wednesday, the e-commerce giant said it would cut around 16,000 jobs after already slashing 14,000 separate positions back in October.
All right, classic and custom cars, hot rods, trucks, and motorcycles. If it's on wheels, it'll be in Pomona this weekend.
That is right. The annual O'Reilly Auto Parts Grand National Roadster Show kicking off today. Coco live there with more. Hi.
Hey there, we are at the Pomona Fairplex. We are celebrating the longest running indoor car show in the entire world. We're talking about the O'Reilly Auto Parts Grand National Roadster Show. I'm here with John now, who is the owner of Rod Shows. Tell us about this cool show for people.
It's a phenomenal event. It's been here at the Fairplex for 23 years. It started in Oakland, and it's just grown and grown. It's a family event. We'd love for you guys to come out 10 to 6, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and bring the entire family. We've got bands, we've got music, we've got pinstripers that are putting their works and wares together to sell and auction off, raising money for women and children.
I love that, yeah. And they're just so talented. I'm here with Marshall now from the Brush Bandits, and Marshall, this is your 12th year. Tell us about the amazing volunteers from the Brush Bandits.
So we have 42 pinstripers. Men and women came in from all over the world, actually Japan and all over the United States and Canada. And we all do this as on a volunteer basis. Nobody takes a dime. And we paint up artwork, and it all gets sold by auction, and all the money goes to everyonefree.org, which is a tremendous charity benefiting the battling of human trafficking. So we're looking forward to raising some money this weekend, and we have a lot of fun amongst us also.
I was going to say, because you're like a family, you were telling me, right?
Great group. This really is a great group. I come out early with my wife and hang out for a week or two in advance and a week or two after, just to make sure that we get a feel for this whole thing. And the weather's obviously better. I'm from Michigan, so yeah.
Oh, yeah, my fellow Michigander here. Thank you so much, Marshall, for talking to us.
This is a great crew. We got Scotty, my buddy, the retired fireman out of LA County. So he does some tremendous artwork. Torleaf, just some great stuff. Just some great stuff. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Marshall. Great speaking with you. This show is incredible. There's so much to see here. You've got to come and check it out. 10 to 6, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right here at the Pomona Fairplex. I'll send it back to you.
Really cool cars there. All right, Coco, thank you. Travelers, get ready. Changes are coming to TSA checkpoints. Starting February 1st, that's this Sunday, you will need either a real ID, a military ID, or a passport to pass through TSA checkpoints. If you don't have any of these, you'll have to use their new Confirm ID service instead. This morning, we talked with a TSA spokesperson about what that entails.
Go to tsa.gov. It will link you to our payment website, pay.gov. You'll put in some information, make a $45 payment. That generates a receipt, and that receipt is what you need to bring with you to the checkpoint, either an electronic version or a hard copy printout. That's sort of how you access the identity verification at the airport.
Heading to the airport, you can check your driver's license. If you do have a star in the upper right-hand corner, then you have real ID, and you don't have to do anything. The TSA alternative verification system, known as Confirm ID, can also be used if you lose your ID while on vacation.
The Los Angeles Boat Show is highlighting boats designed for everyday boaters and families.
Brooke Thomas is live in Long Beach with a closer look. Hi there, Brooke.
Hey there. Yeah, it's really like a giant boat marketplace. So if you're in the market looking for a boat, they've got you covered here. Talk to me about, these are pontoons?
These are pontoon boats. Yep. Yeah, these are pontoon boats. So we carry Bennington pontoons. We carry Premier pontoons. We're going to have stuff here at the show anywhere from 20 feet up to 27 feet with 115 horsepower up to dual 400 motors, boats that are going to go anywhere from 20 miles an hour up to 71 miles an hour on these pontoon boats.
Okay, let's say someone is just like a boat connoisseur, but they can't really afford to buy a boat. Would they have fun here just looking around?
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 2 halls. There's probably over 100 plus boats here. A great place to come down with the family, look at a lot of boats, spend the day. Could have a great time, 100%.
What's your favorite thing here?
Oh, my favorite thing here is meeting people, selling boats, getting people hyped about summer activities.
Yeah. I've been saying all morning, I'm looking for a friend who is in the marketplace for a boat. Who is in the market for a boat. A friend looking to buy a boat. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, I'm looking here to make friends with somebody who's going to buy a boat so that I can somehow then get on the boat.
Oh, 100%.
100%. Okay, I'll send things back to you all in the studio. It's a really cool boat marketplace. Come check it out.
Yes, be friends with someone with a boat.
Smart. I like the way you think.
That's all.
Yep.
That's the best I can do.
Yeah. Having your own boat is a lot of work.
It's a lot of upkeep.
I know people. And
girl, I'll take the work. It's the fact that they're like $600,000, $700,000.
Oh yeah, there's that.
I'll mop a little bit, you know.
They're a little on the pricey side. All right, Brooke, thank you. We do have some bad news for Lindsey Vohn's Olympic hopes. Just 1 week before the Winter Olympic Games, this happened. She crashed this morning during a World Cup downhill race in Italy. Vohn was able to get up, but she limped off the course, keeping weight off of her left knee. The race was later canceled because 3 of the first 6 racers crashed. One racer who completed the course says visibility was a major issue. Vohn is the most decorated American skier in history. She's had many injuries, but has had a very successful comeback, you know? At age 41, it's pretty amazing. So she confirms she has a left knee injury. She did post a message on Instagram, which reads in part, "I'm discussing the situation with my doctors and team and will continue to undergo further exams. This is a very difficult outcome 1 week before the Olympics, but if there's one thing I know how to do, it's a comeback. My Olympic dream is not over."
Wow, that's incredible if she does make it back to compete in the Olympics in just 1 week. Yes, but we're all rooting for her, that is for sure. And as the Winter Olympics approach, a big media deal is set to change how fans can follow the game in real time. Warner Brothers Discovery is partnering with social media platform X to share Olympic content during the games. The deal will bring behind-the-scenes videos and highlights directly to users' feeds, with content from networks like HBO Max, TNT Sports, and Eurosport. The goal is to combine sports with the fast-moving conversation on social media. The Winter Olympics begin, as we were saying, 1 week from today in Milan.
American gymnast Jordan Chiles may soon be able to reclaim the bronze medal on the women's floor exercise from the 2024 Paris Olympics. Switzerland's Supreme Court granted part of her appeal and sent her case back to the Court of Arbitration for Sport for reconsideration. It cited new video evidence, which shows Chiles' coach making an inquiry over her score within the allotted time. Chiles was stripped of the medal after an initial appeal by Romania. USA Gymnastics praising the court for its decision. The review is expected to take at least 1 year.
This was one of those stories that we were all just, you know, losing our mind over, right? Because she was granted that medal, earned it, then took a picture, and then was stripped. It's one of those Olympic stories that never goes away.
And it still could take a year to figure out.
It's all those rules and details.
Being in that position, though, it's like you just want to get it over with.
Right. So hopefully we'll figure out what happens soon. All right, coming up, many people are trying to get smarter with their money this year in 2026. So I'll show you some simple ways to save and how small changes can make a big difference.
And welcome back to you. I'm meteorologist Maria Quaban. An area of high pressure anchored here across the southwest. It's just locked in, keeping that storm track away from us. So that means we're looking at plenty of sunshine and even warmer temperatures today, tomorrow, some 10 to 20 degrees above normal. So it's going to feel a little bit more like summer in the afternoons than winter. 35 to 45 mile per hour wind gusts still expected through parts of the LA County area, Santa Clarita Valley, and some of our San Fernando Valley area. So there's wind advisory in effect until about 2 o'clock. As we look at the long-range models beyond our 7-day forecast, so we're talking about February 5th to February 9th. Look at what continues here across the west. Continued dry conditions, drier than normal. So we're going to keep this area of high pressure around through at least the first 9 days of February. So get ready for more of the summer-like conditions. 77 on the sand. Some surf heights actually kind of up to 3 to 6 feet from Ventura County to LA County beaches. So just be extra careful with the high rip current risk in the water. A little smaller in Orange County, but still moderate to high rip current risk through San Diego. 77 for the coast today. Lots of sunshine. Downtown LA, Inland Orange County. Look at this, mid-80s. 85 tomorrow. And then we'll bump it down a couple of degrees as we get into Sunday, Monday, but it'll be right back up again to the 80s by the middle of next week. Valleys, Inland Empire, 84 today. Pool weather. Up into the mountains, I know everyone wants some help from Mother Nature, but they're making plenty of snow, so that's good. You'll be snowboarding to around 57 degrees at our local resorts up in Big Bear, Snow Summit. They are making a lot of snow, so that's a good thing. High desert areas in the upper 60s. In the Coachella Valley, 82 degrees today in Palm Springs, and we're really looking at a lot of sunshine through the extended outlook, staying in the 80s. Back to you.
All right, Maria, thank you. With the start of a new year, a lot of people try to get smarter with their money, but it's difficult for most people to budget and stay on track. I talked to a financial expert for some advice. Budgeting your money in this economy can be tricky, but it all comes down to priorities.
There's that famous quote, show me someone's budget and I'll tell you what they care about. And it's true. I think money, it's a tool. It's not the end all, but it is in some ways a representation of what our values are.
Financial experts say tightening your belt is not easy with the prices for basics soaring.
It is true. The cost of living has really gone out of control, whether you're looking at grocery prices, the cost of education, gas in many parts of the country. And I truly, truly sympathize with everybody who is looking at this concept of saving money and feeling as though every month they're coming out negative. My advice is to not overwhelm yourself with this concept of needing this 3 to 6 month cash reserve right away. Start small, whatever you can.
Saving a few dollars every month can add up and help. The first step, take a look at what you can do without, and also speak up for yourself when it comes to your bills.
We call these like financial leaks. Take inventory of some of these subscriptions. Even one subscription that you put on pause or cancel could mean hundreds of dollars saved over the course of a year, perhaps more. So start with the little things. They certainly add up. Look at what you actually have due every month. Call up those billers and ask for discounts, ask for breaks. Maybe you go on pause. I recently, through a chat bot, reached out to my cell phone provider. I've been with them for many, many years, and every so often the cost keeps going up. And here's a perfect example of cost creep.
Cut the cost creep by shopping around for the best deal. And planning for emergencies now is essential for when you might need that money later.
The best budgeters are those who anticipate expenses in the future, and they bake those into their budget, or they call it maybe a spending plan today. And they are realistic about what they're earning today and making sure that that lines up. A lot of times we feel guilty dipping into that emergency account. That's what it's there for, everybody. Like, if your house is on fire, use the water, and your emergency account is the water.
Sandra Endo, Fox 11 News. She's also saying that you can use AI if you need help drafting a letter to try to renegotiate bills, or you kind of need that script when you're talking with customer service. So AI is a good tool, but with money being so personal, it's best to not let AI do all the work. So if you can, always talk to a financial professional to guide you in how best to stay on track with your financial goals. And I know it's February coming up, right? A lot of people are off their New Year's resolutions, but the good thing about budgeting and money, you could always reset, get back on track, right? Whether it's cutting down subscriptions, cutting out that 1 cup of coffee a week, all these little things can help.
It's true.
Yeah.
But as far as AI is concerned, it is good in kind of clearing up your mind and getting you organized, but you can't just leave everything.
No, you can't. You gotta add that human element.
Human still, okay? Right. All right, coming up at 10 o'clock. You see these beautiful orange creatures flaring all over Southern California. Why experts say you should be seeing maybe many more monarch butterflies.
Oh, nice. Okay, I like it. Plus, the results of a new survey that shows people are putting their pets' well-being before their own. Got a budget for your pets, too.
Speaking of pets, one particular breed is top dog when it comes to the sporting world. Why the Border Collie rules the agility course. Good morning. Welcome to 10 a.m. on this Friday morning. Here are some of the stories we're covering for you this morning.
In response to President Trump's immigration crackdown, activists are calling for a nationwide strike today. How it's impacting local businesses just ahead in a live report.
And a sad day in Santa Clarita as news spreads of a fatal car crash involving the young girls' hockey team. We're live.
And we've got an area of high pressure still in control. You can kind of tell with our satellite radar pictures how clear it is across the southwest. How much longer is this storm track going to be away from us? I'll let you know coming up in my complete outlook.
And former CNN anchor Don Lemon arrested overnight in Los Angeles in connection to an ICE protest in Minneapolis.
Happening today, a wave of anti-ICE demonstrations planned across Southern California as part of a nationwide action known as ICE Out of Everywhere.
Mario Ramirez live in Echo Park with all the details. Mario.
Yeah, that's right. We saw this last week in Minnesota, hundreds of businesses shutting their doors in protest, and we're seeing some of the local impacts as that action now goes national. Take a look here. We're at another business in Echo Park. This is Little Fish Seafood Restaurant on Sunset Boulevard, closing its doors today because of the strike. Those signs reading ICE Out of LA. And take a look. This is just one of several businesses in the area participating today. Look at some of the signs that we've noticed here this morning outside of restaurants, gyms, clothing stores, coffee shops announcing that they won't be opening. This is part of a growing movement calling on people across the country today to stay home and stop spending with one clear message: stop funding ICE. Activists say this shutdown is a response to recent ICE activity and the deaths of 4 people shot by federal agents during protests. They include Alex Preddy, Renee Good, Silverio Villegas Gonzalez, and Keith Porter Jr. And some local residents say they were surprised to see how many were participating here.
This whole movement is showing that we're all together. It's not just a couple of us being like, oh my God, I'm going crazy by myself. It's seeing that, oh, we're all together, and it's more than just a handful of people. It's the whole country.
On Saturday, as soon as any of these are open, I'm going out there and I'm telling every single neighbor that is here, like, you know what, this business was closed, let's go and support them. It's about, we see you're here for us, we as a neighborhood are going to be there for you.
And as massive protests are continuing in Minneapolis with demonstrators rallying against ICE activity and federal enforcement tactics, local protests are happening across the Southland today as part of the ICE Out of Everywhere movement. Take a look. Demonstrations are scheduled at Pasadena City College today from noon to 1 p.m. at Burbank City Hall from 12:30 to 1:30 in LA City Hall beginning at 1 o'clock this afternoon. And many of the signs near these storefronts here highlighting that 1 o'clock rally at LA City Hall. So we anticipate that to be one of the largest today. We'll have continuing coverage on all of it. For now, live here in Echo Park this morning, I'm Mario Ramirez. Back to you.
All right, Mario, thank you. More developing news on ICE. LAPD will not be enforcing a ban on federal law enforcement officers wearing masks. Governor Newsom signed a ban into law back in September, and a similar measure was approved by LA County supervisors. The Department of Justice has mounted a challenge to its constitutionality, saying it creates risks for agents, including doxing and harassment. LAPD Chief Jim McDonald says the ban on masks is a bad idea for law enforcement.
Our role when we get to a scene is to de-escalate the situation, not to ramp it up. Trying to enforce a misdemeanor violation on another law enforcement agency, that's not going to end well, and that's not going to be good from a public safety standpoint for anybody in that environment. Potentially you have a crowd that could be agitated and trying to get their point across, and then you have the ICE agents who are doing their job. And for us to come in then and try and create an enforcement action for wearing a mask, it's not a safe way to do business.
The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department says current federal law will not allow it to enforce the proposed ordinance on federal agents wearing masks.
Former CNN anchor Don Lemon has been arrested in connection with an ICE protest in Minnesota. Lemon was with dozens of anti-ICE protesters on January 18th when they disrupted a church service where one of the pastors is an ICE official. Well, Lemon says that he was there as a journalist, not a demonstrator. He was not protesting, but there is video of him bringing coffee and donuts to the protesters right outside of the church. At least 3 other people have been arrested for their actions at the church. Federal agents took Lemon into custody last night in Los Angeles. He was here in LA to cover the Grammys. He is due in federal court this morning. Also, another independent journalist has been arrested for the protest at that church. Georgia Ford taken into federal custody this morning. She calls the case against her a violation of her constitutional rights. Ford is the vice president of the Minnesota chapter of the National Association of Black Journalists.
The Department of Justice has filed charges against the man who lunged at Minnesota Representative Ilhan Omar during a town hall meeting in Minneapolis on Tuesday. Anthony Kazmierczak allegedly sprayed her with a liquid from a syringe. The criminal complaint says the syringe was filled with apple cider vinegar, which hit her and her clothing and her face, including her right eye. The FBI says the suspect has a history making threatening statements against Omar, including advocating for her murder.
The Department of Homeland Security apparently backing down on a threat to have ICE agents patrol the Super Bowl. Unnamed sources told TMZ federal agents won't be conducting immigration operations next Sunday in Santa Clara. DHS also reported that ICE will not be present at any NFL-sponsored events across the city around the time of the Super Bowl. If true, this is a stark reversal from previous messaging, which insisted there would be ICE agents present at the game.
And developing news this morning, a Santa Clarita girls traveling hockey team is involved in a deadly car accident near Denver.
This is heartbreaking. An adult chaperone killed and a team member critically injured. Let's go to Gigi right now. She's at the team's practice rink there in Valencia. Gigi.
That's right, and we are getting messages from Colorado from the team coach, Coach Todd, who has just told me that all 3 players who were aboard that van that was involved in the crash with the snowplow have now been released, but siblings also aboard. There were 2 of them. Apparently one of those siblings of the players is still in the hospital, along with 3 mothers, the moms of those 3 players who were in the van. They remain hospitalized this morning. And I want to share a video just sent to me from Colorado because, believe it or not, the rest of the team decided to honor their colleagues, to honor the dad of one of those players who passed away by playing in the tournament that started today. And before the tournament started, they held a moment of silence. This video just in from Littleton, Colorado.
At this time, we would like to take a moment of silence to honor all those involved.
The Santa Clarita Lady Flyers playing the first game of the tournament, and they won 3-2, honoring their colleagues and, again, that fallen dad. We're going to have much more on why they played coming up, but I want to take you back yesterday morning in Colorado as some of the members of the team and their parents and some siblings were on their way to the tournament when that fatal crash happened.
I just had a plow slide across all lanes of traffic.
It was yesterday morning, just before 9 a.m., when the Colorado State Patrol says the driver of a Department of Transportation snowplow lost control. The large truck crossing the highway, jumping the median, breaking through a barrier, and heading straight into oncoming traffic, hitting one car after another, until it finally crashed head-on into the van carrying several families, 3 families, and those young hockey players that were heading to the tournament. The van was sent flying over an embankment, landing on its side. A total of 10 people were inside. The driver, the father of one of the hockey players, dying at the scene, while a young girl, apparently the sibling of one of the hockey players, was listed in critical condition. She had to be airlifted to a trauma center. A total of 4 children, the 3 players and a sibling, were all taken to the hospital along with those 3 moms, and they remain hospitalized this morning, although the players have been released. Now, back here in Santa Clarita, it's a big city, but has that small town feel where everybody knows each other. Word of the tragedy spread very quickly.
Honestly, my stomach just kind of dropped, not knowing who was in that van, who it affected, and we are a very close-knit community, so everybody kind of knows everybody.
It's very heartbreaking, the hockey and skating community here.
My heart just goes out to this family.
And again, the 3 players that were hurt in the van have now been released from the hospital along with a sibling, but this morning. Hospitalized are the 3 moms and another sibling in Colorado. We hope to have more about their condition later. Now, I want to show you an Instagram page from the Santa Clarita Flyers. They posted early this morning, our amazing girls have chosen to show their strength and support for each other by playing in this weekend's tournament. They will be short-benched, but every single stride they take out on the ice, every goal they make, and every puck they save will have a special meaning. And the Santa Clarita Lady Flyers won that first game of that tournament. A very emotional morning for everyone involved, bringing it back here live to the Cube where the team plays. There is a small memorial here. Someone has brought a candle and flowers, and there are 2 hockey sticks to honor that fallen dad. His name has not yet been publicly released. Reporting live in Santa Clarita, I'm Gigi Graciette. Back to you.
Gigi, so heartbreaking on so many levels there.
Our hearts are heavy.
Yes,
yeah.
For so many in the community and those families grieving as well. All right, thank you for those details. A new report submitted by the LA County's Director of Homelessness Services and Housing on a plan to clear homeless encampments near Olympic venues ahead of the 2028 Games. Officials aim to move unhoused individuals into temporary housing, but admit there may not be enough resources or funding. Critics argue the plan focuses on appearances rather than solving homelessness. Security perimeters around venues like SoFi Stadium and the LA Coliseum will guide these efforts. The county says it's committed to connecting people with housing, but challenges remain.
All right, let's talk about our weather right now, because we are anticipating some really, really warm weather outside again today. And this is indicative of that. Mostly clear skies outside. And this is because of this area of high pressure that is just locked in across the southwest, keeping that storm track well away from us. Typically, we have a trough of low pressure on the other side of the country, and we are talking about some really cold, wintry conditions there. But here, conversely, high pressure will continue to produce the warmer temperatures in the 80s again today into tomorrow, potentially some record-breaking temperatures. That high will weaken slightly on Monday, but then by late Tuesday into Wednesday, that high will re-strengthen. We'll be back up to well above average, well into the upper 80s, possibly by midweek next week. Right now, we're looking at already 70s outside, 75 in downtown LA, same for Santa Monica. It's really warmed up. 77 in Corona right now, 69 in Long Beach. Big Bear, it's already 50 degrees, and it's 78 in Palm Springs. High temperatures today will be in the low 80s in the low desert in the Coachella Valley, 67 in the high desert areas. The mountains, 57. We do have some gustier winds, again, in those usual wind-prone areas below the canyons and passes. Downtown LA, inland Orange County, out towards the valleys, mid-80s today, 77 along our coast. How long will this pattern last? I'll let you know as we take a look at the extended outlook when I come back. Back to you.
We do have breaking news this morning. Really sad news here. TMZ reporting that Katherine O'Hara has died at the age of 71. The cause of her death is unknown at this time, and of course she's famous for her work in Schitt's Creek, Home Alone, and Best in Show. So we're working to learn more about this. We'll keep you up to date on air and online at fox11.com. Amanda will be joining us to talk about this as well. So breaking news into our newsroom, Katherine O'Hara has passed away at the age of 71.
A judge rules that federal prosecutors cannot seek the death penalty in the Luigi Mangione in the killing death of healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, the executive killed in New York City on December of 2024 as he was just walking down Midtown Street there in Manhattan. The Trump administration was seeking the possibility of execution for what it called a premeditated cold blood assassination. Mangione has pleaded not guilty to both federal and state murder charges. The state charges carry a maximum penalty of life in prison. Jury selection in the federal case is set for September. No trial date has been set in the state of New York.
A man is under arrest for allegedly impersonating an FBI agent in what police say was a bizarre attempt to free Luigi Mangione, the man charged with killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Federal prosecutors say 36-year-old Mark Anderson of Minnesota showed up to the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, where Mangione is being being held. He allegedly told a staffer he had weapons, as well as paperwork authorizing the release of a specific inmate. Prosecutors say that weapons were a pizza cutter and a barbecue fork.
New this morning, the Justice Department has released some records on Jeffrey Epstein under the Epstein Files Transparency Act. The files include millions of pages detailing his abuse of underage girls and ties to powerful figures. Some documents, like flight logs and interviews, were heavily redacted. Epstein died in jail in 2019 after facing sex trafficking charges. His associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, serving 20 years for her role. The disclosures aim to shed light on the government's knowledge of the case.
Coming up, a new phase begins in the cleanup at the Santa Susana Field Laboratory, the site of the worst nuclear disaster in the United States.
And you know, it's that time of year when monarch butterflies make their way to Mexico, why experts say you may be seeing fewer than usual.
And we have a little bit of traffic to talk about this hour. Good Day LA Traffic is brought to you by My Home Sold. As we take a look at our traffic map here and zooming in, we've got the live traffic camera to show you, actually. And northbound 57, this is at Orange Thorpe. There was an accident earlier on that 57, and it has cleared out. So things are moving nicely there in that part of Orange County. Drive times coming in and out of downtown LA looks pretty good. Westbound 10 between the 5 to the 405. Wow, just 18 minutes now. On that north 110 between the 405 to the 10, just 16 minutes. And on that west 60 between the 57 to the 5, just 21 minutes. Here's a look at some of the other traffic hotspots.
Hello, I'm Adrian Hernandez with MyHomeSold.com, and we want to buy your house cash. We'll give you a cash offer for your house today. Sell your house the easy way with no commissions, no fees, no repairs. For free, no obligation cash offer. Go to MyHomeSold.com.
shocking and heartbreaking news heard around Hollywood. In our newsroom, Katherine O'Hara, the actress that played Kate McAllister, Kevin McAllister's mom in Home Alone, has died at the age of 71. TMZ reporting that she has died. The cause of her death still not known at this time. Of course, you know her and her famous work from Schitt's Creek, Home Alone, Best in Show. She was the voice of Sally in The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Did not know
we
that.
just saw her in The Studio on Apple TV. She's won multiple Emmys during her career. Most recently earned an Emmy nomination for The Studio. Her first Emmy win dates back to 1983 for her writing contributions to the sketch comedy series SCTV Network 90. Her family has not released an official statement, but TMZ says they are hearing of the news from two of their sources. She leaves behind her husband, who's a production designer, Bo Welch. They met on the set of Beetlejuice in the 90s. She has two sons, Matthew and Luke. She has described herself as a good Catholic girl at heart. She's Canadian, and she has dual citizenship in both Canada and the United States. She always had a big smile on her face at any and every event that she attended. And this is absolutely shocking because, number one, we did not know if she was sick or if there's anything wrong. And number two, 71 is still young to me.
It is young. This day and age, it is. It seems like, as of right now, it's just sudden passing, which is what's so shocking, right?
So shocking.
I mean, many people think of her and know her as Kevin's mom.
Kevin,
truly,
right.
I mean, she has been in this business for so long. Her legacy is so great.
Oh my gosh.
And her
Body of
role
work.
in Schitt's Creek, the reason I kept watching it was because of her. She just made that show, in my opinion.
Yes.
Just her talent, her voice, her charisma.
She's the one who said her favorite season was award season, her character on Schitt's Creek. She also, a lot of people didn't know that she had a beautiful singing voice.
I did not know that.
Yeah, she had a beautiful singing voice. She loved to sing. Honestly, we audibly gasped when we heard the news, thinking of her husband. She's been married to him since the early 90s, thinking of her two sons, Matthew and Luke, right now. And I'm thinking of all of her fans that felt so close to her. I mean, her scenes, her characters, from Beetlejuice to Home Alone, to her beautiful voice in The Nightmare Before Christmas. And of course, like you said, Schitt's Creek. I mean, gosh, David.
Oh, she's so good in this role.
She will be remembered forever.
These roles, you know, that just really are so relatable because she genuinely had a talent that just emanated from within. Her authenticity and her realness. That's why people can relate to so many of her roles and the joy she spread throughout her entire career with all of these movies that she's been in and these series.
And a lot of people were very happy to see that she had such a close friendship to Macaulay Culkin. After all these years, she actually attended his recent Hollywood star ceremony on the Walk of Fame, and she was there. She almost was like a mom to him, and not just on the screen for Home Alone and then Home Alone 2. She was like a mom to him behind the scenes as well.
And just recently in The Studio, you know?
Yeah.
She did a great job in that role.
So versatile.
Yeah, truly.
Truly versatile. She will be so missed, not only in this industry, but everywhere. Again, if you're just joining us, TMZ reporting actress Katherine O'Hara passing away at the age of 71.
All right, more information hopefully to come on this shocking news. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
And welcome back to you. I'm meteorologist Maria Quaban. The heat is on. Yes, it's warming up outside, and this is all because of the Santa Ana winds. It's continuing this offshore flow, and that is producing the sunshine and potentially near record-breaking or even record-breaking temperatures later this afternoon with these 80s that we're expecting. And if you've been looking for a sign of a storm or rain, just haven't been getting any storms getting close enough. And as I'm looking at the long-range models, I don't even think we'll see any until at least the 9th or the 10th of February, when we expect the pattern to change just a little bit. But as far as rain, those storms continue to move up to our north as that high pressure is locked in across the southwest. You know where all the wintry weather's at? The other side of the country. Look at the high temperatures today. 8 degrees in Bismarck. All that cold air diving in from Canada all the way down into Dallas with only in the 40s for that high temperature. Even in Florida, look at Miami, Tampa, only in the upper 60s today. And as we look at this nor'easter to develop this weekend, all of this rain just offshore. But this is bringing in the moisture across the Carolinas, even as far south as Georgia, with a lot of snow expected. Somewhere between 6 to even 12 inches of snow possible from South Carolina on up into Virginia. So very dangerous conditions on the other side of the country. And as that storm moves off, it looks like another one on its heels by next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, another wintry storm headed that way. So conversely, when there is always a trough of lower pressure on the other side of the country, we get an area of high pressure, and that is what's happening. We're getting locked into this pattern. 73 today, or rather right now for downtown LA. Later this afternoon, expecting 84. Which is well above the average of 68. So today and tomorrow, very similar conditions with near record-breaking high temperatures. 84 for downtown LA today, 84 in Indio. As we look at our day planner for Laguna Beach, a lot of sunshine already there at the beach. Looking at mid-70s this afternoon between 1 and 3 p.m. Big Bear, 59 degrees at around lunchtime. So if you are still wanting to play in the snow, you still can. They are making snow up there as it is cold enough in the overnight hours. So you can go skiing or do some snowboarding with that sunshine. 71 degrees at this hour towards the Inland Empire. Thousand Oaks, 75 degrees, getting up to the upper 70s later this afternoon. And in Anaheim, we're looking at mid-80s later at 3 p.m. There's my weather for now. Back to you.
Maria, thank you. The long-delayed cleanup at the Santa Susana Field Laboratory continues with focus now on underground facilities. The former aerospace plant sits in the foothills straddling the Simi and San Fernando valleys. The U.S. Department of Energy, along with Boeing and NASA, are in charge of the cleanup of the site, which is considered one of the most contaminated sites in the United States, going back to the 1940s. Government contractors, including Rocketdyne, operated a nuclear reactor, developed chemical lasers and rocket engines at that facility. The lab was the site of the worst nuclear accident in U.S. history, in which a reactor core melted down back in 1959. The incident was kept secret until 1979. 700,000 people now live within 10 miles of the site.
Experts say low numbers of monarch butterflies may now be the new norm. Scientists monitoring the butterflies' population along the West Coast say this year's count is the third lowest since 1997. They worry that the low numbers are the new normal for the colorful insect, thanks to coastal development and destruction of its habitat. Experts say western monarch populations have declined about 10% a year since the 80s due to habitat loss, pesticides, and climate change. There's some strong reaction this morning from the Armenian community after Dr. Oz called Los Angeles the epicenter for healthcare fraud.
The head of Medicare and Medicaid is blaming the Russian and Armenian mafia. Susan Harrison reports from Van Nuys, where Dr. Oz focused his claims.
In this 4-block area in Los Angeles, there are 42 hospices. So either there are a lot of people dying here, or you've got a fraudulent activity that is so good that everyone wants to get in on it.
The former TV Dr. Oz, now the head of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid, drove down Victory Boulevard in Van Nuys.
So you can see these are medical buildings. They've got Cyrillic writing, Russian, Armenian writing. On both sides, there's lots of action.
Oz claims the healthcare fraud in L.A. has cost the federal government $3.5 billion.
It's run quite a bit of it by the Russian-Armenian mafia. You notice the lettering and language behind me is of that dialect.
Disgusted?
That's Edward Akbarian on his office balcony. But in Dr. Oz's video, he's blurred, and he feels it's made to look as if he's part of the alleged healthcare fraud. In fact, he sells real estate.
It's neighborhood. We know each other. Everybody knows each other, you know. Never heard anything like that.
So
and I was surprised. I was very, surprised when I heard that.
On Google Maps, each dot suggests the concentration of hospice companies. But because Oz never names even one, it's difficult to figure out if there are indeed sham businesses here. The Armenian Bar Association sent letters to Senator Adam Schiff and Representative Laura Friedman to applaud Oz's mission to root out fraud, but not at the expense of Armenian Americans.
To vilify an entire ethnicity, a community that's very proud to be American, by the way, it is truly beyond the pale and completely unconstitutional.
And this image some find particularly harmful. The bakery is actually closed, but the nearby market is owned by the same person, and the claim is that the Dr. Oz video is harming his business.
A business is down now 30%. Poor guy, small businessman, saying they're somehow connected to the mob around hospice. Well, hospice, we've been after that for years and years before Oz was even on the scene.
The motives are to hit the Armenian community in LA, and we will not stand for it.
Ian Van Nuys, Susan Hirosuna, Fox 11 News.
All right, more to come on that for sure. And let's turn to this, though. Classic and custom cars, hot rods, trucks, and motorcycles. If it's on wheels, it will be in Pomona this weekend.
The annual O'Reilly Auto Parts Grand National Roadster Show kicking off today. Coco McAvoy live there. These cars are so cool, so beautiful, so much color.
I know, I love it. There's so much to see here. The show is actually underway right now, so we've got lots of people walking around really enjoying this show like they do every year. We're talking about the O'Reilly Auto Parts Grand National Roadster Show. I'm here with Kevin now. He is the show manager, so tell us more about the show.
Well, it's the 76th running of the show. It's running Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 10 to 6 every day. You can get your tickets at the gate or at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Do that, and we're in the what we call the Amber, the America's Most Beautiful Roadster, which is the big 9-foot trophy. We got cars from Kansas, from Pennsylvania, from Delaware, all over the country. And this one here behind us won 30 years ago.
That is awesome. And we're actually here with Chip, who built the car. Chip, oh my gosh, tell us about this cool car.
Well, Coco, I worked for Hot Rods by Boyd's back in the 90s. And in 1995, we built this car for Boyd Coddington, and it won the 96 America's Most Beautiful Roadster Award. And I'm so excited that, I got the car a month ago. I'm actually the owner with a friend of mine, John Clay Wolf from GiveMeTheVinton.com. And we wanted to present the car, and John said, I want to put it right in the middle next to the trophy. So it's an honor to be here this year.
Well, truly, it's an honor for them to have you here for the show, too. I mean, you've got several cars kind of scattered throughout the show, right?
There are 5 cars here, I think 5 or 6 that I was involved with, but I've actually been lucky enough to be involved with 9 cars that I designed or worked on that have won the America's Most Beautiful Roadster Award.
And if you can talk about what you like about being part of this show and how cool that is to have won that award.
Well, when there is something that goes on in the world that is the number one, the best of everything, you're honored to be a part of it. And that's what this show is. The Grand National Roadster Show started in 1940, I think it was 48. Was it 48, 50, 1950? And it is the pinnacle of what you want to win is either the Al Slonaker Award, which is a car that is not a roadster, or America's Most Beautiful Roadster. And, you can't do it anywhere except here at the Grand National Roadster Show.
Love that. Thank you so much, Chip, for talking to us. And the cool thing is Chip was really able to describe why this show is so important, why it's so monumental as well, why people come from all over to the Pomona Fairplex for this show. And we're talking about it's going to be packed this weekend, but you've got to come and be part of it. 10 to 6 today, Saturday, and Sunday as well. Pomona Fairplex. I'll send it back to you.
A lot going on there.
Absolutely. So exciting. All right, Coco, thank you. This, though, not so exciting. Live look right now at the big board. Dow down 500 points or so. Things are not looking good on Wall Street as of right now. The Dow very, very much deep in the red there.
And Dow Chemical in Freeport, Texas plans to cut 4,500 jobs. That's more than half of the employees who work at the facility. The company says it is shifting towards artificial intelligence and automation. Business owners in the city say it could devastate the local economy there. Dow Chemical is a major employer in Freeport. It was established in 1940 and spans more than 7,000 acres.
All right, look for a pain in that pocketbook of yours to continue. Produce prices rose more than expected in December. The price index measures inflation before it hits consumers. The PPI was up 3% last month. It's the fastest pace in 3 months. The report was actually 2 weeks late due to the government shutdown late last year. So wholesale prices have spiked since December.
And Saks Global is closing many of its discount stores after filing for bankruptcy. The company is shutting down nearly 60 Saks Off Fifth stores. Saks will hold closing sales at certain locations beginning this weekend. The online version of the discount store will also hold liquidation sales. Saks Global filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy earlier this month due to high debt.
Starbucks announcing some big news and plans here, starting with reintroducing tiers to its loyalty program. Rewards members with less than 500 stars will belong to the green tier. They can enjoy perks like a free drink or a food item on their birthday. Once a customer then earns more than 500 stars, they're upgraded to the gold tier. The reserve tier is for customers who earn more than 2,500 stars. This comes as Starbucks plans to give their established locations a bit of a facelift by adding seating capacity. They hope the new move emphasizes their cafes as community hubs.
So in the cafe, you'll see warm seating. You'll see a seat that'll actually invite you to sit down. The elements of artwork that'll be localized within communities that the cafes actually exist. You'll have a mirror wall, we call it, where our menu board and order confirmation is built in an encased wall with merch surrounding it.
The coffee chain also opening 75 new locations this year, with around 400 more planned for 2028. The news comes just 4 months after the company announced it would close hundreds of less profitable stores.
All right, coming up, Amanda sitting down with DJ and pop culture guru Head Crack to talk Grammys and all things Hollywood.
And as we go into break, live look at Santa Monica this Friday morning, 10:39 is the time. We'll be right back.
The weekend is here, and well, if you got plans to go to the beach, whether you go to the coast, get some sand, or maybe even some snow up into the mountains, which we're not getting help from Mother Nature, but it's going to be perfect this weekend. The winds will be dictating our weather, looking at some stronger gusts through the usual wind-prone areas, these winds coming out of the northeast. So 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Santa Clarita, Woodland Hills, out towards San Bernardino Mountains, also the Coachella Valley. That drive to Palm Springs on the 10 through the San Gorgonio Pass will get a little bit gusty. Wind advisories are still in effect through the afternoon. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets extended tomorrow for these areas here in Santa Clarita and parts of the valley. The dense fog advisory still in effect for another hour and a half or so, up through parts of the Grapevine and that 5 freeway on your way up to Bakersfield and the Tehachapi's. But these are the areas where it's particularly gusty. 35 to 45 mile per hour wind gusts in Thousand Oaks, out towards Agoura, Simi Valley, Santa Clarita, out towards Canyon Country, a little bit on the gustier side. So that just means hazardous driving conditions. So be extra careful, of course, especially if you got a high profile vehicle. Maybe if you are headed to the beach, we do have a west swell that's coming in. So these surf heights coming in at 3 to 6 feet. Ventura County, LA County beaches. So the rip current risk is quite high in the water, so just be careful and always swim or paddle out near a lifeguard. About 2 to 4 feet in Orange County, 3 to 5 in San Diego for the coast. 77 on average today. We're going to hold this pattern through the extended outlook through next week, so a longer period of time now as we continue to see these summer-like temperatures. 84 for downtown LA today. That is very non-January-like. That's more like July. 84 in the valleys and the Inland Empire. You can see how the temperatures bump down slightly Sunday, Monday, but it's still above normal. And then we're going to ramp right back up as we get into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week. 57 in Big Bear, but look at the morning temperatures in the 20s and teens, so it's cold enough to make lots of snow if you want to get your snow fun in up into the mountains. 67 in the high desert areas, and if you're headed to the Coachella Valley today, Palm Springs will get up to around 82 degrees. And again, this pattern continuing, so we'll stay in the 80s through the better part of next week.